I'm going to jump into something that I haven't done in a long time. It's so crazy important, and you're going to find out why. You're going to like this one today. If you haven't really studied in depth 4 disciplines of execution, you're going to like this today. If you've studied it in depth, you might have a recap of something that maybe you haven't seen in a while or talked about in a while, haven't gone over in a while. Maybe we'll kind of touch on that. But if you haven't actually jumped into it, you're going to like it. 4 disciplines of execution. Um, it teaches you how to win the game, with lack of better terms. That's just the best way to explain it. It teaches you how to win the game. And it is a game that we're playing, and it's definitely a winnable game. But there's a switch. So there's a switch that happens when you go from new agent, nothing going on, you're trying to figure it out. You don't know what you don't know. You're trying to figure things out. You're learning, coaching, training, and then all of a sudden that light switch switches. And when it switches, all of a sudden you have so much business. It can happen that way. That now you're like, I don't have time. Like I don't know what to do. I've got too many. I got all these people calling me, and I don't have time for them. I think I'm gonna segregate my. I mean, that happens in real estate. I just talked to a lender this morning, Teresa Carranza. That's how her business is going right now. She's got so many lag measures going on that she doesn't know how to segregate it. So she's trying to categorize it in her calendar. So excuse me. So I went over in depth 4 disciplines of execution with them today, and they loved it. So we're going to hit on that, and I think you'll like it. Is there anything else though you need before we get started? See if I can stop my cough. Nothing. Nada. You guys are all pros. Okay. If there's anything that comes up, speak up. I definitely want to cover it. All right. So first thing I'm going to talk about, has anyone in here seen the whirlwind video? I see Jacob's in here, so he may have seen it years ago. Before I talk about the whirlwind video, I did come across an email that I really, really like. It came from Dale Archdeacon, and it says 4 secrets to build a consistent real estate business, and yes, that even means in 2026. Smart words. So understanding your smart words. So this is a quote. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with others. I love that. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, though, go with others. Because people need people and we carry each other. So it talks a little bit about accountability, systems, accountability, stuff like that, strategy. But it talks about a very important part, okay? And about what he learned. It says small group accountability is way better than one-on-one. So it's better than being alone, is having small group accountability. The reason is that one is too private. If I'm just doing one-on-one with you and we're coaching, it becomes a little too private. Your accountability is only segregated to the one person that you're working with. Eventually, every coach gets soft on you. However, in small groups, someone's always willing to hold your feet to the fire because there's more people, right? Someone's always willing to hold your feet to the fire. Also, there's more internal pressure not to just let 5 other people down than there is for just one person. You have multiple people. And this is going right along with our 4 disciplines of execution. You're going to find out here in a minute. So your accountability level is higher than just with one person. Making a regular or weekly commitment to show up like you guys are today, to show up like our Idaho group does on Thursdays, to show up like our California group did today. It was packed. It was so cool. I had to take a picture. It's so many Idaho agents in there from our Idaho group or California group today. So many California agents. It was amazing. Um, it really does make a difference when you have that much accountability and you internally choose to show up and allow yourself to be coachable in that group with accountability partners. Okay, making a regular weekly commitment to show up and tell other people whether or not you did the work in your business you said you would do. It's super effective at getting you to actively do the work you know you need to do. Learning the marketing, the lead gen tactics, the nuances from other agents that are working right now, it's absolutely a gold mine. Being A business owner in real estate in 2026 is hard. He put that in uppercase, hard. Finding others who are fighting this fight too is priceless. I love that. So the whirlwind is when it happens when that light switch switches. You've got so much going on that all of a sudden that whirlwind is just going crazy and you can't get caught up. You don't have time for the lead measures. Brian Eisenhower years ago, he was the CEO of a Keller Williams Realty that I was part of, first company I was with. We had this big whiteboard going all the way across the front room, and he walks up and he writes this just like this, all the way across the whiteboard, just up and down, like a waves, like ocean waves. And he said, every business owner struggles with this problem, and your goal is to make this line straight. And there's only one way to do it, and it's to focus on the correct WIGs, wildly important goals. He said, because this is what happens. You get busy, 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 and then you start servicing that business, and then you have nothing. You're at the bottom, or you have one or two, and you're like, dang it, I got to get back to work. And then so you're working, and then you're at the top and you're doing well, and then you're servicing, and you have nothing again. And it's how most business owners, specifically real estate agents or lenders, do the same thing, is that's how they run their business. It's because you get burned out and you don't want to work and you don't want to do this and you just want to take a little break. And what happens is your whole business takes a break and this roller coaster continues on and on and on. You got to get control of that. We're going to look at the disciplines, and I'm going to fast forward a lot of this through it. This is what 4DX is in a nutshell. We're going to talk about each one of the disciplines and how you can effectively use it in your business.
The 4 disciplines of execution are designed to create a winnable game. They give you the power to execute your most important goals in the face of competing priorities and distractions. The disciplines are powerful yet simple. They are not, however, simplistic. They can be tricky to apply and sustain because they require us to work differently than we normally do. Discipline 1 is focus on the wildly important. It requires you to focus on less in order to accomplish more. You start by selecting one wildly important goal, or WIG, instead of trying to work on a dozen goals all at once. We're not suggesting you ignore the work necessary to maintain your operation. We are suggesting you narrow your focus to work on what you want to significantly improve. Most intelligent, ambitious people don't want to do less, especially if it means saying no to good ideas. They're wired to do more, but there are always more good ideas than there is capacity to execute.
So number one, and I'm going to show you my slides because I taught on this a couple years ago. Focus on the wildly important. That's your WIG. And this is your clear identifying what must be done. These are your biggest, most important things that you know is going to drive your business or that you want to drive your business. These might be things you actually enjoy doing, but you just don't have time to do them because you've got a new buyer that you're out showing houses to, and you must show them at this time because it's the only time the client is available. How many times have you told yourself that lie? All right. Or occasionally it happens when they're in town, flew in the town, and they're only here for Monday or Tuesday or Saturday or Sunday. That happens. Okay. Very rare though, and we use it as an excuse quite often. You allow your wildly important goals to become no longer top priority. You allow them to become the bottom of the totem pole. It happens quite often. And so here's a little setting clear goals, define what you want to achieve, and break large tasks into smaller ones. You're taking that big one and you're breaking it down. And we like to use the 1-3-5 form. It's just so simple. So it's more simplistic and easy to do, but you don't have to use it. You can use a pad of paper. When we do our WIGs for our coaching company, we actually use a whiteboard and we draw it out just like the 1-3-5 form though, because it's easy to break it down into simple tasks to help us reach that goal. And they need to be simple or you won't do them. That's a true reality. You will not do them if they're not simple. You know it, especially when you get busy and you get caught up. So having a wildly important goal and systematically set up how to to do it shows professionalism. If you truly are a business owner, you need to be a professional. If you truly are an entrepreneur, you need to be professional. You need to show your professionalism. Having a goal shows you're a professional. Running by the seat of your pants with no goal, and just saying, "Oh no, I just my phone just rings. I just service people. I just help people. It just rings." That's not professionalism. That's actually laziness. So to be a professional means you set professional standards and you focus on the wildly important goals to go after them. Discipline number two is it allows you to kind of take that wildly important goal and move it to the next step. And that's focusing on the most important tasks, your lead measures.
Discipline two is act on the lead measures. No matter what you're trying to achieve, your success will be based on two kinds of measures, lag and lead. Lag measures track the success of your wildly important goal. Lags are measures you spend time losing sleep over, right? Revenue, profit, quality, customer satisfaction. They're called lags because by the time you see them, the performance that drove them has already passed. You can't do anything to fix them. They're history. In contrast, lead measures track the critical activities that drive or lead to the lag measure. They predict the success of the lag measure and are influenced directly by the team. A common example of a lag measure is weight loss. Which activities or lead measures will lead to weight loss, right? Diet and exercise. Proper diet and exercise predict the success of weight loss, and they're activities we can directly influence. Right? Now, simple enough, but be careful. Even the smartest people fall into the trap of fixating on a lag measure they can't directly influence. This is because lags are easier to measure and they represent the result we ultimately want. Think of a lead measure as a lever that moves your wildly important goal.
I used to have this coaching client that I had in Colorado, and she had an agent on her team that got bold with me and said, I always check my email first thing in the morning. I said, okay. I said, well, how fast does that email that you decide to check turn into you getting started in your day and now you didn't actually do any lead generation? She goes, well, it's not hurting my business. So my business, like, she was really rude to me. And I'm like, okay, you can't coach somebody that's not coachable. That's how I chalked it up. She wasn't coachable. She wasn't willing to listen. She didn't care. She had her own mindset, and that's fine. She should. That's how she runs her business. I did tell her and finish, and I said, I want you to remember one thing, okay? That this conversation we're having today, eventually you're going to burn out and you're going to find yourself so stressed. Your family's going to be a little stressed. You're going to be stressed and your family's going to see it. And I just don't want that to happen to you because it happens every time. Like, I've never seen it not happen. Eventually you get to the point that your family can get affected by your burnout. If you run your business by a calendar, by actual daily steps in a structured business, your family understands your structured business. They know what you're doing each day. I do the same things each week. My wife knows what I do. She understands my lag measures are in the afternoon. I schedule all my showings in the afternoons. Very, 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 very rarely do I do any showings in the mornings. I've got showings scheduled Thursday. I've got showings scheduled Friday right now on the calendar. When I was in California, I spent all morning was working with our team and our company, and then I went to 3 different listing appointments in the afternoon. That was on Monday. And that's how my schedule goes. My wife knows my schedule. My family knows my schedule. There's no stress or anxiety over that. The only stress and anxiety that ever happens in my life is based on drama, which a lot of times the drama you can't do without. So that's the only stress and anxiety that I usually get, is the drama that comes with dealing with people. Now, take that or leave it however you want. But that drama could be transactional. Could be transactional. That causes me a lot of stress and anxiety. And that's a lag measure. Remember? It's a lag measure. It could be team stuff. Could be agents on a team. Sorry, my teammates. I'm not pointing anyone out. But it could be that. The lead measure is bringing on new teams. The lead measure is helping them go. The drama comes afterwards when they're successful. then all of a sudden they want to take off, and that happens, and that causes me a lot of stress and anxiety, especially when I work so hard to help them get into production. So there's different stresses that you're going to deal with people. You guys know what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. When you're doing transactional stuff, that happens. That's normal, but it shouldn't be affecting your day. If you're doing all lag measures all day, you're going to have a very stressful, dramatic day. If you're focusing on lead and proactive and new business and stuff like that, oh, watch how much easier your calendar flows. It flows very, very nicely. Let's see. Okay. Let's going to continue on to discipline number three, which discipline number three, we'll
Telling
talk about
scoreboard. People
scoreboards.
play differently when they are keeping score. If you doubt this, watch a group of teenagers playing basketball. See how the game changes the minute scorekeeping begins. It's not a subtle change. The lag and lead measures won't have much meaning to the team unless they can see the progress in real time. Bowling through a curtain is not that much fun. Discipline 3 is the discipline of engagement. People perform best when they are emotionally engaged, and the highest level of engagement comes when people know the score, whether they are winning or losing the game. It's that simple. The best scoreboard is designed for and often by the players. A player's scoreboard is quite different from the complex scoreboard coaches love to make. If players know the score, if they can influence the lead measure, and if the lead measure moves the lag measures, you know you have a winnable game.
Here's the biggest fail with that is agents will start a scoreboard, they'll see a scoreboard, they like it at first. Maybe they chose to design the scoreboard. Maybe that's an easier way to do it. They design the scoreboard. If they don't see the winning game fast enough, that's where the fail happens. If you see the winning game and the scoreboard changing faster, it becomes more fun to see it. So speed has a lot to do with it. But the scoreboard will not change unless you stick to the structured business that you're building. Structure is huge. I'm going to show you a couple different scoreboards. So this one is one I created a long time ago for about a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, maybe. Legacy and Homes of Idaho. And it's a simple scoreboard. ICC came up with it. Eisenhower Coaching and Consulting, where you'll see some names in here you probably recognize, who started using the scoreboard, but as you can see, they kind of stopped. Okay, so using the scoreboard and then stopping. Or we just never did incorporate it. So you see some agents on my team or have not been on or no longer on the team. So the scoreboard will help you win the game if you can see the results. So if I say that my goal is, and you have to create it, what is your goal? The reason why I moved away from the scoreboard on the team is because there was great thoughts about contacts made, but there wasn't really any buy-in to it. There's not really anything exciting about it. To me, colors aren't even that exciting. Okay, I don't love the colors. Um, but here in this case, I'm gonna hit 300, like right here, Sabrina, put 300 contacts this week. Okay, that's a lot of contacts. How am I gonna do it? Well, this is week one, right here. This is week two, three, four, and if there's a fifth week. And that's how I'm gonna hit it. Monthly actual, so that number would it be the actual. This is my goal. This is my monthly goal. This is my monthly actual. Okay. And now that is for lead measures, contacts made. Here's a secondary lead measure, growth. You've got to add new people. You got to meet new people. So that's a scoreboard to be able to track that. Open houses. Okay. That's going to bring you more. Okay, great. Follow-up tasks. Nothing outstanding by Friday at 5 o'clock. Got to get everything caught up, or you didn't win the game that week. Total online lead contacts, response time to call. How about conversion measures? So that's a league measure too. I converted, I got a new listing appointment set. Appointment set, appointment met. Appointment set, appointment had. Sign listings, okay? Buyer appointment set, buyer appointment had. Then it breaks it down on and on. I made a simpler one here. I like the colors, they're a little more brighter and prettier. And this one has both training topics, things we could train on, has scripts, has a calendar, and then it has lead measures. What is your big why? If you don't know your why you do this, why you get up each day, I'll tell you, I know Paul's why. It's his daughter, loves his daughter. He really wants to help her in life. That's his why. You rate your week. How'd you do this week? Was it six? Was it five? Was it four? Did you fail? And if it is, what's it going to take to get you to an eight? And then on and on and on. So contacts made, new contacts added to the database, video calls. That's a big one. That was somebody wanted that. So I added it. So if you create the scoreboard, you better do it. If it's your idea and you wanted it, all right. DTD2, doing the database twice. That's where we went into social media and how you can add people in there, and you do the AW, D&E, F and G, and all those different ones in there, and how you're contacting people with those first letter of the last name. If you did it, you get a checkbox. Did you do an open house that week? The plan was to hit four in 1 week, or four. The plan was to hit four. Okay. So that's one each week. Okay, you did it. Great. You get to add that. Or four in 1 week is what it says, actually. That's a lot of open houses. But I know a few people that do it at Legacy Real Estate, that they try to hit four in 1 weekend. Two on Saturday, two on Sunday. That's a lot, but it's going to bring you a lot. Can you stick to it though? That's ask your question. That's a question asked. You don't have to do it every week. You don't have to do it every month, but choose the weeks you're going to do it and do it if you say you're going to do it. Past clients. Here we go. Appointment set, appointment met. Appointment set, appointment met. Application submitted. That's because he's a lender. If it was a realtor, it would say contract signed. Escrows opened. Those are lag measures. New escrow. Okay. And then here's this one actually has book club. Let's read a book together. Scoreboard. Great. This one also has reviews. How many online reviews did you get? Because that's a big driving force to future business. Scoreboards are big. Keeping a compelling scoreboard will help you grow, keep your business on task. Now I'm going to start right here because we're going to talk about the last one.
Disciplines 1, 2, and 3 are nothing more than a formula for creating a winnable game. Discipline 4 is how we play that game. Discipline 4 is create a cadence of accountability. The cadence of accountability is a rhythm of regular and frequent team meetings that focus on the wildly important goal. These meetings happen weekly, sometimes daily. Ideally, they last no more than 20 minutes. In that brief time, team members hold each other accountable for commitments made to move the score. The secret to Discipline 4, in addition to the weekly cadence, are the commitments that team members create in the meeting. One by one, team members answer a simple question. What are the one or two most important things I can do this week that will have the biggest impact on the scoreboard? In the meeting, each team member reports first if they met last week's commitments, second, if the commitments moved the lead and lag measure on the scoreboard, and finally, which commitments they will make for the upcoming week. People are more likely to commit to their own ideas than to orders from above. And when individuals commit to their fellow team members, not only to the boss, the commitment goes beyond professional job performance to become a personal promise.
I've watched this video so many times over and over again, and that part right there is the part that I have personally failed when I've taught Forge this disciplines of execution in the past. It's the buy-in from you. If you buy in it, if you create it, if it's yours, you love it, and you cherish what you choose to do in your own business, you're more likely to do it. Safe to say, you don't want to be bossed. You don't want to be told what to do. You want to do it. You want to do what you want to do. So that was probably the biggest fail with me coaching this over the years, was that you have to believe in it. You have to want it. So the things that you put down on your scoreboard that you are going to accomplish this week are yours. You own them, not me. I'm just here to hold you accountable to what you said you wanted to do. So last week, 2 weeks ago, I presented a competition form, and I said, here, have fun with it. Let's compete. How many numbers can you get? Can you do this? Like you get points for each item to do. So many people were interested in it and wanted to do it. Not one person emailed me their form. Why? Because I brought it up and I said, hey, here you go. Do it. A coach can only help you discover what you already know needs to be done. It's up to you to do it, or what you already know you want to do. It's up to you to do it and commit to it. And so in this, discipline number 4, the cadence of accountability, is like this call right here. Or if you have a team, it's like the team huddle. Do we get together and do we go over what you said you wanted to do last week? I'll tell you, our team, we fail on that. We don't go over that enough. We don't go over what you want to do to accomplish. It's something that we need to incorporate and stick to it. What is it you guys want to do this week? Okay, we're going to talk about it next week. Note it down, pull the notebook out, put it down on a scoreboard, like could be a whiteboard or something like that. Note it down and say, okay, you said you're going to do it. All right, next week, did you do it? Okay, what got in the way? And what are you going to do different this week? What do you want to do this week? And then we put the new wildly important goal on the task. It could be something simple like, I just want to do 2 days of lead generation of 2 hours, 2 days this week. That's it. It's simple, baby steps. Okay. Eventually you'll grow into 5 days a week of lead generating. It could grow into that, but it's got to be your commitment. That's what he's saying right there. It must be yours. You've got the buy-in. I'm going to play a little bit of this one here. This one's kind of fun because this is actually a case study. And just to kind of bring it up, it's a grocery store. Okay, and this guy's the manager of this grocery store. It's a failed grocery store. It's struggling out of all the grocery stores that are in the general area, or basically owned by this one company. It's one of has the worst results. As you can see, this thing's broken. This handrail, people don't fix things. People don't do things, and he really struggles. Not only do people not want to come to his grocery store, but people don't want to be at the grocery. The workers don't even want to be there. They're not happy being there. So he's trying to find a way to get it where it needs to be. And, it kind of shows him he's just like depressed and all this stuff. He's out, look at all the carts out in the middle of the grocery store. They're just all over the place out there. When he goes inside, it's, people just don't want to work. They don't want to do things. So he's just like, he's doing it all as the manager. No one's really doing anything at all. And then I'm going to start it right here.
Now, with all he had to do, you can imagine that Jim was delighted to be going to a training. But Jim knew his team needed an execution process, and he was willing to give it a try. In the session, they started by getting really clear on the wildly important goal.
All right, so we're going to grow year-over-year income 10%.
One goal, that's better than the 9 we're supposed to be working on.
After a lot of discussion, they decided the thing that was most predictive and influenceable was store conditions. Measuring a lead measure like store conditions turned out, as it usually does, to be a little tricky. How do you measure something like conditions in a grocery store with thousands of products? Well, they figured it out. Each department came up with the top 5 most important things to measure for that department, and they decided to score themselves daily on a 1 to 10 scale. They had a plan. Jim, the assistant manager, and the department heads would assess store conditions and update the scoreboards daily. The bet was that as store conditions improved, so would year-over-year operating income. They posted the scoreboards, and that night, the employees tore them down. So everybody took a step back, took time to communicate, and after the first of the year, they tried again.
It's just that the employees didn't believe in it. They didn't believe in what needed to be done. And so had to come up with ideas to get them to believe in it and talk to them about what they think. Let them choose.
Day pressure sucked the department heads right back to where they'd been before. Despite the scoreboards, nothing had really changed in the store.
I'm just too busy to worry about that. I've got a large catering order, and that'll take all day. And I gotta do something about inventory because I'm about to run out, and I'm understaffed. There's just no time.
Despite all the work that had been done, there was no regular weekly accounting to say, here's what I did last week, here's what I'm gonna do this week to move that score. So in a last attempt, we pleaded with Jim to meet with his team weekly and to ask each one the question,
what is the one thing, just one thing, that you could do that would have the biggest impact on the scoreboard this week?
You want me to choose?
Yeah.
I guess I could get the back room cleaned out.
Okay. And how would that help things?
Well, it's kind of cluttered. I mean, I've got a lot of extra racks and a variety of things out on the floor. If I can get the back room cleaned up and move all those things off the floor, it'll look better.
Kind of a funny old video. This was in the beginning a long time ago with Four Disciplines of Execution, but as you see, it's simple. It's not hard. The hard part is the execution. The simple part is it is the things that you're choosing that are your wildly important goal don't have to be big. It could be that you want to do I never do open houses. I just never have any success in it. So why do I not do open houses? Because I've never had any success in it. Okay, what's one wildly important thing you can do to have a successful open house? What do you think you could do? Do you not want to do open houses? No, I'd like to do open houses. I would just like to have people come in. Okay, what is it you think that is one thing you can do to make that open house successful so people would come in? Well, I guess I could, send out some invites to all my sphere of influence, or I could send out some invites on social media. Okay, that's a simple but very impactful, wildly important goal. I want to do open houses, and this is what I have to do to drive more traffic into the open house. It could be a simple thing like that. You have to believe in it in the end, though. It has to be yours. If you own it and you believe in it, then that is a goal that you can accomplish and you will accomplish because it's yours. You own it. So, to get to the four disciplines of execution, it's all about coming up with the ideas and the things that you need to do that you know you already need to do, but you struggle to do them, and how you can make them fun and doable that will impact your daily activity and make your activities more profitable for you. Now, is this going to change your profit overnight? Not typically. The goal is to reach your goal at the end of the year. Maybe your goal was you wanted to close 10 this year. Maybe you wanted to close 20 this year. How are you going to hit 10 or 20? So that's a huge, wildly important goal. My suggestion is we know that's the ultimate goal, but there are some specific things that I can be doing to help me reach that goal. Now, just doing those specific things aren't going to immediately give me the goal, but it's breaking them down and believing in the tasks at hand that I can do to reach that is where how I'm going to hit that goal in the end. So lead measures, lag measures, keeping a compelling scoreboard, a cadence of accountability are how you're going to win the game. And it will help you. So that's four disciplines of execution. It's, take it from me or don't take it from me. That's how I built my business, is using specific goals with actionable steps that are going to help me reach that goal in the end. Questions? Oh, I see Paul talking, but I can't hear anything. Let's see. Yeah, I got my volume up. Can't hear you, Paul. Not sure why. Someone else unmute and talk to see if it's Paul's mic or.
I also don't hear him.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Paul, something going on with your microphone for some reason. All right. Anyone have any questions while Paul fixes his mic? Is anyone wheels spinning? If you are, speak up. I'd love to hear some thoughts on this, like some ways that maybe you can put it into actionable steps in your own business. No?
I'll say I 1,000% felt the whirlwind. I know exactly what you're talking about. Oh gosh, I have a baby crying now.
Yeah.
But I had the same exact thing where I would usually buyers looking at houses. I would have 10 buyers looking at houses, and I would dread someone else wanting to buy a house because I would just add to my list of buyers
Yeah.
looking at houses that aren't buying, and half
Yeah.
of them wouldn't even be making offers. Half
Mm.
of them would be lowballing.
Yeah.
You know, come on now.
Yeah. And
So
it's
yeah,
gets
that kind of whirlwind. I was scared to answer the phone.
it gets to the point to where you're like, I can't handle another one.
Yeah.
And when you actually can, there's just it's just breaking it down to goals that allow you to be able to continue your process. Because Jacob, I saw you do this very well. You made a goal that you wanted to quit your day job if you had this much money in your account, I think is what it was, and you reached it and you quit the day job. And then you had so much going on, right? And then you start to focus on
Mm-hmm.
a few specific buyers that ended up going away. The investor, I remember the investor. And so that's kind of like that roller coaster. And then all of a sudden you
Mm-hmm.
have nothing, and it's like, shoot, I need some income to feed the family, so I'm gonna go get another job, right? And then that
Mm-hmm.
happens. It happens so often is how to segregate that system, not segregate, but set up that system so that you win the game and it continues for on and on and on. It's
For
focusing
sure.
on the wrong things. If you're focusing on the lag, which is a buyer you already have or a seller you already have, you've got to give them their attention, but they need a time in your day and you need to have goals to be able to continue your lead generation. And if you have goals to continue the daily lead generation and time in your schedule to show, time in your schedule to get people over to get a pre-approval, even that's a gray area. You just have to literally live by that calendar. And I love using a calendar. I live off it. My wife has control of it as well. She sees when I have openings, and it works really well for our marriage. It's comfortable. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for speaking up, my friend. I really appreciate it.
Dude,
Anyone else have anything? Otherwise,
Is my mic working now?
it's working. I hear you.
No, I put my headset or my earpod in. What I was saying is my frustration or my struggle, and I think you've probably gotten to know this over the last year. Scores don't mean anything to me. I've never kept score of anything. I've never been competitive. I'm not a competitive person. I'm just like, oh, cool. I'll take it as it comes. So seeing a score doesn't get me excited about, oh, if I can talk to 10 people, or if I can close 10 houses this year, I'm just like, yeah, just kind of go with the flow. And I need to find some type of motivation that gets me out of it. And the closest thing that's come to it is between talking to you and then a podcast I listened to, the idea of building a business that I can sell in the
Oh,
future.
yeah.
And so that actually got me excited. Okay, well, how can I go about making this something that I can either have residual income coming from doing nothing,
Hmm.
so I can go off and do something else, or can I sell it and make it a profitable business? So I don't want to be an employee who owns a company. I want to be a company owner that has something that I can sell later.
Love that. And so you're going back one step that we're not talking about today, which is the big why. Your reasoning why you're doing this. If you're not doing this because I don't need to sell 100 houses this year, I don't care about that. I really don't care. I'm doing this because I want to be able to take my daughter on a really cool trip to Ireland. Um, let's say Antarctica. I'm just kidding. Don't go there. That could be cool though. You never know. Greenland. I mean, what is the big why? Is it the car is not doing good. We're speaking Paul's language. The car's not doing good. I need to get a new car. And right now, I don't. I have enough money to buy a semi good one, but not really what I want. Okay, so that could be a big why. A new house, an RV, that's an opportunity to take 3 months off and go serve God in another country. The sky's the limit on the big why. Why is it that I even care? Why did I even get my license? There's so many different whys there could be. But once you find that, there is no competition. The competition is not even there. It's a reason. Oh man, I want to sell the business someday. Okay. What does that do for you to sell the business someday? It allows me to have financial freedom so I can spend more time serving God or spend more time with my family or whatever it might be. Can I not have to work? Can I not have to travel anymore? That's kind of my future. I'd like to not have to travel so often anymore. But that's okay. I do enjoy traveling right now, so it's not a bad thing. But that's a why for me is I want to not have to travel someday. I want to retire, and almost 50 years old, so that's actually in the running. I do want to retire someday. What is yours? That's a big one. Yeah. I like that, Paul. Thanks for adding it in there. That's perfect. Perfect, perfect. All right, guys. If there's anything else, speak up. Otherwise, thank you so much for coming today. I hope you got something out of this one. Building that business, knowing your why, and then building that wildly important goal and running with it. Having discipline will help. You're welcome, Tony Larson. All right, guys, have a good week. Let me know if you need anything. God bless. Anything that you want here that we talked about today, copies, links, email me, Sean at CurtisREgroup.com, and I'll send it to you.